Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another match review, another pre-season game down. Thank God that is over, because, oh my God, nothing went to plan. There was a penalty shootout which confused the players, the staff, everybody involved. I didn't even know that there would be one if it ended in a draw. Clearly the players and the staff didn't either. There was delays because of lightning. There was no captain on the pitch for about 15 minutes, maybe, something like that. 15, 20 minutes. Calvin Phillips had a man of the match performance. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I don't know what I just watched, to be quite honest with you. The last game against AC Milan, I said, was probably one of the most boring. This game wasn't boring. I do want to stress that this game was pretty enjoyable to watch. I enjoyed watching the game. It was better than the Milan game. I don't think it was anything too spectacular, but it wasn't, boring. It was just everything surrounding this game was just comical. Only in America, I guess. It's silly. I don't know what I've just watched. I'm glad that it's over. Glad that we've only got one more, because I can't wait to get into proper football and winning some games, seeing some proper players. But we did see a few more first team players in action today at the Croatians starting. So I'll break it down. Give you my thoughts. If you do me a massive favour first, please leave a like on this video. It's massively appreciated, and subscribe if you are new. Let's just get into it. I mean, let's start with pre-kickoff. Absolute carnage. Kickoff was delayed by an hour and 20 minutes because there was lightning storms, which, if you rewind the clock about 2 years ago when we were last in America for pre-season, the same thing happened. We had Bayern Munich, and we only got, I think it was an 80-minute match, 2 40-minute halves, because they had to delay kickoff due to a storm warning, and everybody in the stands had to go back on the concourse. Same thing happened today, where there was lightning. Everyone was ordered to go back inside on the concourse. The players, the staff, they were told to all go back, presumably to the dressing rooms and wait it out. And of course, by that point, you can't just, once it's over, we had the tweets from Sam Lee and a couple of other journalists saying that there needs to be half an hour in between the lightning, before the match can even, before the players can even come back out and you can get fans in the stands. So, of course, you get the lightning strikes, you got to wait. And it's not just the case of the players can come back out and play straight away. They've got to go back through warm-up routines and get ready, because if they don't prepare properly, there's a likelihood that they'll get injured. So, phenomenal start to the night with an hour and 20-minute delay to kick off, but we eventually arrived at kickoff. And I thought we played well, to be quite honest. I thought we played really well. There was a couple of individual players that really stood out that I want to talk about, and I'll talk about in a second. But in terms of just overall, we created enough chances. We were cutting through Barcelona with ease. To be honest, we should have been 1-0 up. The ball crossed the line. Haaland put it in. The ball crossed the line, but no VAR, no goal line technology. Goal didn't count. I mean, everybody was like, oh, well, it's close, it's marginal. And then they show the replay, and it's like a good yard or so over the line. So they missed that one. It's whatever. Barcelona, with one of their first attacks, pretty much, score. And that's kind of just the story of us. That's so typical of us, even for our non-preseason games, through normal games, is we dominate and we get hit. It's just how it happens. But then I guess in terms of the response, again, we just kept going. We kept plugging away. I thought the first half we were clearly the better side. And that pass from Vardiel to O'Reilly for that first goal was absolutely sensational. I'll touch a bit on Vardiel for a second. I thought, again, first half he started bright. You could see that it's his first bulk of minutes. I think he got 10 minutes at the end of the game against Milan, something like that. And then this was his first start of pre-season. You could tell he's a little bit rusty. A few moments creeping in there, but some good minutes for him. But in terms of the player that I want to talk about most today, again, I like to do this I've been doing this, biggest winner and loser of pre-season. And after today's game, the biggest, there's two winners, kind of. But the main winner is Nico O'Reilly. He ran the show in the middle of the park. He was very, very good once again. I think he's had a good pre-season, but today's been his best game. arguable man of the match. I think he was one of the players up there. I think you're looking at him, Kovacic, and I mean, I said it in the intro, Calvin Phillips, for some reason. But again, a really solid performance, great finish. He's just strikes me as a player that's got a little bit of something. He's got size and technical ability. I don't think he's a 6, so don't hang your hat on him being a Rodri replacement. But in terms of in the future, maybe being able to play as an 8 if we so desperately need one, or think we can fit him in the squad, I think he's got a successful career ahead of him. I just don't know whether it's here with the amount of young midfield players. You look at Perot and McAtee, they're also playing in this preseason tour. You've got Sissoko and Wright, they're more maybe defensive options, which is kind of more of what we need right now. So you've got a few options, but he really stood out today, Nico O'Reilly. So he's probably my biggest winner. Kovacic as well, great assist for the second goal, great finish from Grealish as well, captain. More solid minutes for them both. And then I guess I kind of just want to move it straight on to Calvin Phillips, because what's going on there? I'm not for 1 minute going to turn around, right? And I'm not for 1 minute going to say that this is the beginning of a redemption arc. He's now a centre-back. He can now stay. I ain't going to say that, because I think it's ridiculous to say that. It's one pre-season game. Probably man of the match, even though he missed a penalty, and I'll get onto the shootout. But he's probably man of the match. Multiple blocks. I think his passing was great. It just suits him more being a centre-back. At least the way that we play, it suits him more being a centre-back. Because I think the one issue that we've had with Calvin Phillips is his lack of mobility. He always seems to be 1 or 2 steps behind. It doesn't, like, whenever we get hit on the counter, which we do a lot. If Calvin Phillips is on the pitch playing as a holding midfielder, then, I mean, we just look lost. He gets blown by and he just can't recover. So playing as a centre-back kind of suited him more, because I think his actual on the ball, like his passing range is always pretty much been okay. Like it's been good for the most part, you know, in the short burst that we ever get to see him. It's just the physical side and the mobility and just the reading of the game, it just wasn't there, and that's why he just never worked out as a midfielder. Now, could he work out as a centre back? I mean, it's possibly an option, because I don't know if anyone's going to take him off our hands, and we might just be stuck with him. In which case, you got to imagine that if he's used, he's probably going to be used there, because, I mean, let's be honest, as a holding midfielder, it was a calamity. But I hope that maybe piques some interest and people can see that he does have some sort of value, because I'd quite like to move him on still. And then, of course, he did miss the penalty, which I guess people, including myself, kind of jinxed, because we were saying, oh, wow, look how good Calvin Phillips was. He takes the first penalty, he misses. And I mean, that's going to be in the title. I'm going to word it in there somewhere. We do not practice penalties at any level, whether it be under 18s, under 23s, senior team, women's team, under 8s. I don't care. We do not practice them, because do you know how bad it is when you lose 4-1 on penalties? Do you know how hard it is to lose 4-1 on penalties? It literally cannot get any worse. You cannot lose worse. You cannot lose 4-0, because the shootout ends at 3-0. You know, once you miss 3 and they've scored 3, it's over. So 4-1 is about next as bad as it gets from 3-0. We literally couldn't have done any worse. And the only senior player that actually took a penalty is Calvin Phillips. Like, we do not practice penalties at any level. It's actually ridiculous. I can't remember the last time that we saved a penalty for one. I know that Madrid missed one, even though they did beat us on penalties. I know they missed one, but I can't remember if Ederson even saved it. I can't even remember that. So I can't remember the last time we actually saved a penalty, which is ridiculous. And we just struggle so much. The one guy who actually scored the penalty doesn't even play for City. Like, I'm not mad. I expected it. I'm not annoyed. I think I'm kind of just confused, really. I'm in the same boat as the players where, you know, the full-time whistle goes, they're all shaking hands, giving each other hugs, Pep, Barcelona, all this fancy reunion stuff, Thiago on the sidelines, and Lewandowski's chatting too before the game. And I think everybody's kind of looking around going, wait, there's a shootout. There's penalties. Who said penalties? They were all getting ready to just, you know, in their minds it was over. I don't think any of them actually wanted to have the shootout. There was a lot of laughing and smiling going about in the shootout. especially from, you know, the senior pros on both sides. They were kind of just like, I don't really want to be here. Like, I guess that was the thing. I was watching the City broadcast of it, and I could mouth read what Pep said when he was in the huddle, because of course by that point the only senior player that's on the pitch is Cam Phillips, Stefan Ortega as well, and count Rico Lewis maybe as well. But he sat there in the huddle with a notepad in his hand, and he's genuinely gone, who wants to take a penalty? I've seen him say that. I've read his lips, and he's gone, who wants to take a penalty? And a few players put their hands up. Like, I don't think anybody wanted to shoot out. Game's gone, is what I'm trying to say. Game's gone. Why do we need a penalty shootout in pre-season after a draw? Just let it go, man. We don't need penalty shootout. I mean, we saw with Arsenal and Man United pre-season match, there was actually a winner in that one. Arsenal won 2-1, and they still did a penalty shootout. Just for spectacle, really, at the end of the day. So I'm just so confused. If that's the norm, then I don't want to be a part of it. I didn't need the extra 10 minutes of a penalty shootout where we just lose again. I don't need that. Just call it at 2-2 and call it a day, really. But, you know, I don't think either team was bothered with the pen. So, look, it's a weird one. It's a very weird one. I'm still just... I don't think there was much that could have made that game weirder, to be honest, with the delayed start and the penalties. But, you know, I guess we move. We've only got one pre-season game left. That is against Chelsea. Of course, I think he is now back. Some of the other Big Six lot are back, so I assume he is also back. I don't know what the plan is. I guess you're just going to have to stay tuned and find out. So regular content should be resuming on the channel. But in terms of my stuff, I might wrap up with a review of the Chelsea game, considering I've done all the rest. So keep your eye out for that. I'm looking forward to the Chelsea game because, I mean, we have struggled to defend all pre-season, and so have they. So that could be a real goal fest, which is kind of what I want for pre-season. I want to see some moments. I want to get some excitement, see some players. So that'll do for me from this game. Again, odd game, odd night. We can't have a normal pre-season, evidently. Something has to go wrong somewhere. And with the Storms and just Cam Phillips being the best player on the pitch, I just don't know how more crazy it can get. So thanks very much for watching. If you do me a massive favour, and please leave a like on this video on your way up, be massively appreciated, and subscribe if you are new. Hopefully there will be a stream around the corner once we get resumed to normality, and hopefully I will see you after we have played Chelsea for a wrap-up of pre-season.